What is up, y'all? Today we are going to discuss 6 small life changes that can lead to huge short and long term benefits. While some of these tips may be a little controversial and based on preliminary and limited research information, this is not intended to be fear mongering in any way and is simply passing along information from emerging studies. So let's jump into it. Number 1, having a set of gripper and extensor trainers at your desk or at work. As humans age, grip strength is becoming increasingly indicative of overall health and life longevity in recent studies. And it's one of the first metrics that begin to degrade over time if you're not actively targeting it. Additionally, higher grip strength is directly correlated to reducing symptoms and lowering overall risk of arthritis in the upper extremities. Think about how important the dexterity and use of our hands are in everyday life. Maintaining maximum usage and ability of our hands into old age starts with regular care and training in our younger years. It is so convenient and cheap to just keep these trainers at your desk or at work to just randomly use throughout the day while you're in phone calls and meetings, or just as a good stress relief when that one annoying coworker walks into your office to talk.
Seems like you're busy with something. You got a second?
Hey, what's up? It's just a great passive and convenient method to ensure we maintain health and usage of our hands, wrists, elbows, and shoulders as we age. And as a side effect, it can also lead to some bigger numbers with compound lifts in the gym as a bonus short-term benefit. Number 2, adding an extra rinse to your dishes. If you use a rinse agent or dishwasher pod, some recent studies have shed some light on the negative effects alcohol ethoxylates have on our gut biome that are present in just about all name brand dish pods. Research is definitely in its early stages, but I predict it's going to start becoming more well known in the coming years that the chemical residue left from certain dish detergents damage the barriers in our digestive system that lead to liver damage, food allergies, autoimmune diseases, Alzheimer's, and a whole laundry list of other serious chronic illnesses. Especially considering some chemical components in detergents are limited or even banned in Europe as potentially hazardous and carcinogenic materials, yet they are still allowed and used in US products. There are 3 things you can do to avoid these potential health issues in order of effectiveness. 1. Switch to a natural option or a dish detergent that eliminates the use of alcohol ethoxylates. These can be kind of hard to identify and pronounce when you filter through ingredients lists, since they can be categorized under a ton of different names, such as isotridecanol, PEG, PPG, propyltheptyl, or C911-perith. Since there's such a huge list of name varieties for this chemical, avoid anything ending in eth, such as laureth or stereth, anything starting with PEG or PPG, any polysorbates with numerical values, or any words containing polyethylene or polyoxyethylene. Now, if that list of chemicals to avoid sounds a little too lengthy and daunting, method number 2 is just doing a quick rinse of your dishes in the sink prior to using them, preferably with warm or hot water, which is shown to reduce a significant amount of these residual chemicals. And if that sounds a little too time-consuming and tedious to rinse all of your dishes prior to use, method 3 is just adding a standalone additional rinse cycle to your dishes in the dishwasher. This has shown to be slightly less effective than sink rinsing, since there can be an accumulation of these harmful chemicals in your dishwasher if you don't regularly perform deep cleaning and maintenance, but still removes much more residue than just a standard cleaning cycle. Tip number 3, taking a short walk right after a meal. Emerging research shows that a short walk after meals dramatically improves metabolic health by efficiently managing blood sugar spikes and results in significant risk reduction of metabolic disorders such as type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. There is solid evidence from research that 3 light exercise sessions of 10 minutes, such as low-intensity walking, shortly after meals are more effective in lowering blood pressure, reducing heart disease risk, and promoting weight loss compared to a 30-minute session at an arbitrary time of the day. So take advantage of the numerous time-efficient metabolic and health benefits within 30 minutes after finishing your meal to take the dog for a walk, take a nice lap around the neighborhood with the family, or get some steps in with coworkers after your lunch for a quick 10-minute walk around campus. Tip number 4, replacing any of your plastic containers with ceramic, glass, or steel options. I think by now everyone's aware of the dangers of all the microplastics, all the chemicals involved with plastics at extreme temperatures, all that kind of stuff. Now, do I lose my mind trying to remove every single little source of plastic from my life? No, but I do my best to make the changes that can reduce daily long-term exposure to these harmful chemicals, like only using glass or steel bottles for drinking throughout the day. Even my blender bottles, I've switched over to steel options and keeping all my dishes to either glass or ceramic materials. Now, I know this subject has blown up quite a bit in recent years, and it plays only a small factor in our overall health. But all of these small impacts start to accumulate and compound over time to contribute to larger scale health issues. So, why not make the easy switch to safer and longer lasting materials to avoid harmful chemicals that can potentially cause infertility, increase cancer risk, cardiovascular disease, organ damage, and an extensive list of serious potential health problems. Tip number 5, switching to mineral sunscreens over chemical sunscreens. There are two major aspects to this tip: the negative effects on humans and the negative effects on the environment. Starting with the negative effects on humans, many chemicals in sunscreens have been associated with altered estrogen, androgen, and progesterone activity, reproductive and developmental toxicity, and impaired function of the thyroid, liver, and kidneys. The disruption of our endocrine system and developmental toxicity of many UV filter chemicals in sunscreens throughout experimental models has been well established in recent studies. I would like to add the caveat that one of the most referenced studies involves the effects on rats directly ingesting fairly large amounts of these harmful chemicals included in sunscreens that aren't really that realistic or applicable for typical use for most people. But there is another study showing how these chemicals can be absorbed into the body through the skin by observing significant increases in harmful substance levels in human urine, plasma, and breast milk from topical applications of sunscreen. These results raise concerns about potential prenatal exposure and developmental toxicity of UV filter usage over time. This is another area that I think is pretty understudied, and I predict more evidence of how harmful some of these chemicals are will become more well known within the next 5 to 10 years. So try your best to avoid sunscreens that use any of the chemicals listed here. Take a screenshot and use it as a good rubric when shopping around for safer sunscreen alternatives. Now on to the environmental impacts. There is much more evidence of chemical sunscreens causing coral bleaching and deformities, disrupting marine life reproduction, damaging algae growth, and contaminating the food chain that ultimately ends up in our grocery stores and on our plates. By switching to a mineral sunscreen, while slightly more expensive, can help you avoid any potential long-term chronic health issues and prevent damage to marine life environments that eventually end up affecting our food supplies. Tip number 6. This one may upset some people, but stop sleeping on your stomach. I was guilty of this for so long, and I understand it can be a comfortable position to fall asleep. But if you have some aches and pains in your neck, chest, shoulders, hips, and back, stomach sleeping can directly cause or exacerbate these issues and even lead to long-term chronic pains that restricts your day-to-day activities and even requires specialized treatment. This pain is caused by long-term stress and strain on your entire spine and can start to restrict your capabilities in the gym and even lead to chronic headaches. If you have any previous upper body injuries, such as multiple torn rotator cuffs like myself, a night of bad sleeping position can aggravate these past injuries to a debilitating level. Or a bad night of stomach sleeping can lead to neck pain and stiffness that forces you to start using the Batman turn. If chronic pain isn't convincing enough for you, stomach sleeping has also been proven to accelerate facial wrinkles due to the pressure and distortion that can happen with your skin's constant contact friction with your pillow. So save yourself some unnecessary aches, pains, injuries, and premature visual aging, and just opt to sleep on your back or on your side with a pillow between your knees to properly align your hips and spine. I really appreciate these emerging studies being performed on everyday, potentially hazardous exposures that can lead to severe health problems over time. Something like cigarettes used to be considered safe and even beneficial to your health as little as 70 years ago. So it really makes you wonder how we continue to make strides and advancements in treatments and the medical industry as a whole, yet rates of serious chronic illnesses and diseases are exponentially growing over time. We'll try our best to keep you updated on emerging studies and sift through what's critical to consider in your day-to-day life. Links to all the studies and reference information in this video can be found in the description below. Well, I hope you learned something new today, and I hope some of this information helps you lead a happier and healthier life in both the near and long-term future. Until next time, peace out.